Tag show. Tag show. That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's undisputed because I'm undisputed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of the Mixed Tag Show.
I'm out here
with
Jenna and
Blue. What's going on? It's been a while since we had an episode. We're back at a good time too, I believe. No,
I think so. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it'd be quiet sometimes
in wrestling. Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's good that we don't necessarily like we used to record every week.
Overdo it.
It sounds redundant.
Yeah.
And redundant. We should. We say this every episode, but we should be more consistent, but also not too much where it's redundant. So.
Right. How was your week so far?
I had a really, really good week. Nothing too crazy, but I had a really good week. And next week or this week coming up looks to be even, it's getting a little warmer out.
Yeah,
got
about to
this
hit the
body
60s.
right together, know what I mean? So about to be out and about, obviously being safe. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. About to be out and about this week. So, it's been a minute since I stepped out. Obviously, I'd be safe because, we're still in a pandemic, but
Mask it up. Don't be like
exactly. TJP. This motherfucker's corny. I'm sorry.
Do you see what you said? He said?
He's corny. That's what I said. He's corny. Like, it just, at this point, people get so riled up by him, and I feel like he's a troll at this point. I mean, he probably does, is a cornball like that, but I also feel like he trolls because he thrives off of the attention, which I don't know why people even give him the attention. It's corny.
Yeah, he pops up in my timeline here and there. I unfollowed him a long time ago. I see what he said.
I've never
recently.
followed him.
I'm like, yo, this is stupid. Anyway, other than that,
I've never followed him. It's not important.
Yeah.
What about you? How was your week?
There you go. Oh, it was great. It was my birthday week. This
first of all, calm down. I was getting there. And happy birthday to Blue. His birthday was this past week. I was gonna do he always shows me love on the Mixed Tag Shows page, and I was like, I'm gonna do that for Blue, and then I forgot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm not a thought. It's all right. I understand that.
But I put you in my story. Look, I had a hiatus. I was on a hiatus. I'm posting and stuff, and I was like, you know what? It's my bro's birthday, my big old bro's birthday. So let me give you a shout out.
Did you see that?
I did. I
can't find the filters. The filters doesn't work on the laptop. Don't mind my dog Gizmo. But other than that, I had a pretty good time. We did karaoke on Saturday night, and we did a little bit of a game night after that. The karaoke was fun. Like, I didn't expect to have that much fun with it. On my actual birthday, I just chilled and relaxed. Oh, my wife got me a Hamilton cake. I don't know if you know that. I'm like heavy into Hamilton.
Oh, the musical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is something new. Is that something your thing, Hamilton?
Well, since I watched it like late last year during the pandemic, I watched it now like at least 6 times. Wow. I've listened to like the soundtrack like at least 15 times. Like, to me, that joke is dope. Like, I really regret that this pandemic happened and I was not able to see that live, because that's like one of the shows that I've really thoroughly enjoyed.
But even if you were trying to see it, like, because one of the things that I do. Fun fact about Jenna, I go to Broadway shows, and obviously the pandemic, prohibited that. But one of them I would have loved to see is Hamilton, but it's so hard to get tickets in general. Like, they're always sold out or whatever. Like, you gotta have a, an insider to exactly to get you to there and to see it. But I don't know the president personally, so that's a dub. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so like that's
Shout out
been my
to the
thing.
wife.
Yeah, it's in my Instagram right now. It might be gone by the time people hear this, but it's in my Instagram. Maybe I'll repost it. But it was a dope cake, you know.
Let me look.
Yeah, I had a pretty good
Uh-huh.
time. My last night drinking for a while. All that good stuff.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I'm gonna take a break. I have to lose some pounds, so drinking Hennessy is not gonna help in my attempts.
Drinking. See this, and before, because we always kind of go off, and we got to get into the show. But here's what I've learned: you can still drink, but drink in moderation. People think when you're trying to lose weight and this and that, you gotta eat lettuce and that's it. Like for me, like remember, I was on a whole wine kick last year, and I still love
Right.
wine, but everything's in moderation. Instead of having a whole bottle like I was doing, have one, maybe even 2 glasses like that, because one glass of wine is like 100 and some odd calories. So you find your thing, but it's good you're gonna stop.
No, it's just a start for now. I'm not saying forever. I just want to, expedite this part this time, and then I hop back on maybe like in April, May. I start picking up again, taking my sips
next month.
So I said like a little hiatus. So nothing crazy.
We'll figure it out, and I'm excited for you. You saw me. You saw the picture I posted.
Yeah, you think it's summertime? Because the groundhog saw his shadows. You want to come out here like it's summertime?
Hey, so I was like, wait a second. I don't have to stick in my stomach. That's it. That's my stomach. So I had to show out real quick, and it was a little nice that day. So I was like, what?
It was. It's been nice.
And it's gonna be, So yeah, let me rock, Hater.
Ready to do the show?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
As you can see, I'm still wearing my Hurt Business shirt. I've been wearing this since like Monday. Not every day.
That's a little disgusting, but okay.
No. Not every day, just for these and like these quick little things that I've been doing. Like I wore it on Straight Shoe Sundays last Sunday and
okay, like all right. I'm wearing my business shirt.
We have a new WWE champion,
Lashley,
the Almighty
Lashley,
Bobby Lashley.
I know you are very, 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 very.
Because I called it. I knew this was gonna happen. This is what.
Okay, I'm listening. My dog came in.
I said this is what we need. Like we need Bobby Lashley as the champion, and we need to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Put a bow in it.
Do you think that? Because I was having this conversation with someone last night. Do you think that's what they're trying to do? I know Bobby wants to really face Brock. Ever since he came back, that was kind of his thing, like putting it out there.
Right.
But the conversation I had made sense in that Bobby may be a transitional champ, and it's just going to go back to Drew, so Drew can have his moment in front of the fans. Like Drew is a quote unquote one of the faces of the company currently.
Right.
I don't know. How do you feel about all of that?
I don't think that's. First of all, I don't think he's a transitional champion because that's what the Miz was. So then you would go from transitional to transitional champion. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't make too much sense, and then two, they're making too much of a big deal of him being one of the black champions. Like they did this whole thing with Booker T and posted up on WWE's Twitter account. So they're making a pretty big deal and focusing that he is the current champion. I think they're doing more so than they did with Kofi. You know what I mean? Like they're acknowledging it more so than they did with Kofi. Like, yeah, some wrestlers talked about it, but it was never really like on the front stage on WWE Twitter or WWE.com and history made type situation. Like now it's being more focused on with Bobby Lashley. I think because he's also been protected since he was a United States champion. He was never pinned and he never lost. Like if he was a loss, one of his teammates tagged. Like this is the build for Brock Lesnar. I feel.
Okay, I mean I feel you on that in that sense. But again, playing devil's advocate, where does that leave Drew? You know what I mean? It does. I mean, maybe it might be even a triple threat because I just at this particular point I don't see WWE leaving Drew out of any big, like he's not gonna go into some random feud, like let's say with the Miz, or maybe he like they might have something with him and Sheamus. But
Yeah.
I truly think that Drew is not gonna be left out on that big stage like that, in my opinion. And I'm trying to think back, and I guess I hear what you're saying in regards to how they treated the Kofi situation. I feel like they have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Overdo it with Bobby. Not that it says it's being overdone, but we don't have like live crowds, so you can't really get like how Kofi Mania was. It was definitely a feel good moment because it was just like out of nowhere, and you had the crowd, the audience, behind him, and then whatever. It was such a monumental moment. So I feel like the situation allowed it to be a big thing where maybe WWE didn't really go as in. I don't know. I'm just rambling right now, but
playing devil's advocate.
yeah, I'm just in general. I'm just saying what's coming to mind, but nonetheless, this I want to happy for Bobby because I'll be honest. Like he was like, it's kind of like how I feel about Drew. It's kind of like Drew's not bad at all.
Right.
But he doesn't do anything for me. Same thing with Bobby. Like it was, but I did outside of how I feel about Bobby, I truly felt like he was one of the MVPs of since last year, right? That was just had a good gimmick along with MVP and the Hurt Business, like that whole faction. He was consistent. Like you had people that you can like really rely on, be like, you know what, this they have something. And that was the situation with Bobby MVP and the whole Hurt Business. So he's been very consistent and he deserves it. Like this man, like look at him. There's no reason why that man has been carrying a mid-title, all this time. Like that man should at least be a 2-3 time world heavyweight champion, right? Just look at him.
Yeah.
WWE champion or Universal, whatever the case might be. Or when they had the big gold belt, like there's no reason why that man of that stature was chasing after a mid-card title for ever since he came back. So I'm very happy.
Especially when he had 3 titles in Impact. He carried all the heavyweight titles in Impact at one time.
That's what I'm saying. Like that man had that man's look. There's no reason why he's a mid-carder. He's legit one of your heavyweight, right? Talents. So I'm happy for him. I would love to see him have a big time match at Mania, not the main event because we already got 2 main events. Sorry.
Nah, we can scrap Edge versus Roman and put Brock versus Bobby at the top. No, I'm for that.
No, that's not a main event I'm trying to see, please.
What? 2 heavyweights? You know what?
That's ending ending WrestleMania? No.
Listen to me. Everybody knows when Brock likes somebody, he's gonna give you a solid match.
I'm not saying that, but that's not my main event. Like that's ridiculous. Now you're talking crazy.
I'm not talking crazy. Like
that
this
is
what
not
I
a main event
for me. This is what I want to see. Brock versus Lashley.
For you,
15 years in the making. 15 years in the making.
You're telling me, obviously, when you have Sasha and Bianca, one of the faces.
That's gonna
that's monumental. Now you're talking about Roman, who's been, as you have said it yourself, has been phenomenal in this role.
Okay,
Edge is coming back. Like from injury and stuff, that's not your main event.
No, I don't. Because I don't. Do you really like? To me, it's like I get it. Edge is coming back. I understand Roman is doing his thing right now. That's cool. But for me, a dream match that's been on hold for 15 years doesn't supersede a coming back aging Edge versus a young established wrestler right now.
Who's young?
Compared to Edge, he's the younger. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's kind of like The Rock versus Hogan, right? We knew The Rock should have won, whatever Hogan politics, whatever. But everybody knew Rock versus Hogan. The Rock is clearly gonna whoop his ass. Like, I'm sorry.
Bobby Lashley is 44 years old.
What I'm saying, I'm not talking about those. What I'm saying is those two are actually on the same level playing field when it comes to Brock versus Lashley. And it's a match that's been waiting for 15 years. Even in the 15 years, they both have stayed in amazing shape and on the same level. And it'll be like two
You're hyping
two
it
worlds
out.
colliding.
You're hyping. If this was 2008 or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Especially when Brock hasn't been on TV in a minute, sure. But you're talking about Roman, who's literally killing it right now, and Edge. There's not too many people that say they don't fuck with Edge. Edge, and then you bring it up about an amazing shape. Edge is in amazing shape. Edge came back from a career-ending injury. That's big
that.
itself. That trumps.
So, but my thing is Edge and Roman on the same level?
Edge is a Hall of Famer, and Roman is literally the face of the company.
So you think they're on the same level? All right, agree to disagree because this gonna take a while.
I mean, but we know what it is with you and with Roman.
No, it's not. It's not about. It's nothing. Has nothing to do with Roman whatsoever.
So if this was,
it's just like I said, for me personally.
So hold on. Let's say Roman wasn't in the situation. It wasn't Roman that was the champion. You'd be for it if Brock was the champion and it was Brock and Edge.
No, because I want Brock versus Lashley. That's what I'm saying. I don't care that it's Roman and Edge. It has nothing to do with Roman. It has nothing to do with Edge. For me, I feel like the sell is 15 years in the making. These guys are still in great shape. They're on the exact same level. Nobody knows who's going to top who. Brock versus Lashley is the moneymaker in my opinion.
That's not the moneymaker.
Like think about it. They both MMA. They both have had pretty decent careers in MMA.
That's not the moneymaker. You have to. If Bobby was more popular and like one of the actual faces of the company, I would say, you know what, I can see what you're saying. But he's building
to that with this championship win. Like you see,
how do you know that?
This past week alone, do you see the numbers that he's doing as it's starting to get more recognition across?
What numbers?
Like, different
he
medias?
Doesn't even have 1 million followers on Instagram.
It's not just about. It's just the monumental way that it happened. Like all these sports places are picking
I'm not
it up.
knocking.
Like
I'm not knocking Bobby's win. I'm happy for him. You know how I felt Monday night. We discussed the following night. I'm not saying I'm not knocking that. So if anyone like those of you that are listening and watching,
no, it's all my personal opinion, like what you prefer to see.
I'm just saying, yes, this is dope, and this win will help, bring Bobby to a certain level because now he's the champion, this and that and the third. But he's not on that level that you think he is, and it would be to main event WrestleMania. Nah. I'm sorry.
Again, agree to disagree.
Roman and Edge is your moneymaker. Is gonna be your moneymaker, and Sasha and Bianca is it. But I'm not even put it on that energy out. Never mind. Those are my main events, in my opinion. But that I hear what you're saying.
And that's mine. Agree to disagree. You can't agree on everything. But what we can agree on is this whole situation with the Raw Women's division. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. First of all, as you know, it's been a couple crazy weeks. So I didn't notice. I didn't know Asuka was out because Shayna like fucking messed up her whole grill.
Yeah.
And they keep showing it, which is wild because normally they kind of don't allude or will play those type of things back, but they keep showing. Like in slow mo, Shorty's teeth just bot, and it's not even like
they're doing an 8K too. They've been doing it in 8K too.
And it wasn't that it was even one tooth. I think it was like
it was the tooth. The two front teeth that came out like they were together. Like
it's like it makes my stomach hurt the way like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, an accident, things happen. But yeah, I wanted to discuss it because it's just like. What were we doing on Raw? I mean, I think that's been the question we've had for the past couple of years. But like, why is it that every time Asuka gets a title, it's like she's better off not having a title to keep it 100?
It's a placeholder. That's what it basically.
Yeah, but it's a placeholder. But it's like she's had the title since August. since August.
I feel like with Asuka, like she's always like just like a placeholder. She just holds the title until they know what to do with the title, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you said, she had it since August. She didn't really have any real runs with it. She became tag team champion, lost the tag team titles, became tag team champions again, and lost the tag team titles again with the Raw titles just chilling on her shoulder. Then they try to have, I don't know if you read the news. The plan was for her to lose to Lacey Evans.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, it's for her to go against
Remember,
Charlotte.
And then it was
yeah. So
you called it.
Like, so what's the point of Asuka? Like, I feel like ever since she touched the main roster, it's just been trash. Like, where's the dominant Asuka that we know? Like, where's she? Like, this whole, like, it was cool during the pandemic when it first started. She's getting her feels in, but like, you're a champion now. Like, you need to be dominant like you used to be and show them why you deserve to be champion. Like, you just, like, they just let her hang around and this shit's corny.
No, I agree. Like what you said in regards to ever since she came up onto the main roster, it's been like, you had her, undefeated streak continue. And we know the history, and then eventually she loses that undefeated streak against Charlotte. And it's just like, you give her these moments, these accolades, and then it's overshadowed by something else. Like we've always had this conversation. Remember when TLC, when she won it against Becky and Ronda, what was it? Not Ronda, Becky and Charlotte for what was it? The SmackDown or Raw, whatever title it was that she won against them. What happened? The camera panned to Roman and
Baron
Corbin fighting in the crowd. It's always been that. It's always been a moment to outshine. Even fast forward to last year, right, when Becky dropped it because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And this is not, that's just life, women are getting pregnant, but happened. And then she gave the title to Asuka because she won the Money in the Bank match. But what overshadowed it was Becky's pregnancy. So it's like Asuka doesn't necessarily have a moment. Maybe, and then again, her Royal Rumble win, it was just like, okay, Ronda came out. So it's just like, she's never had a moment on the main roster where it's just like, you know what? This is one of our faces. And, the thing is, we as like, the majority of wrestling fans, I've never seen any comment saying she's trash or whatever, but we know her work ethic and her background. So she reminds me of Sasha in the sense where bad booking doesn't really hurt her, because we know she's a top talent and she's going to deliver in whatever, role they give her. She's going to do what she has to do, but it's not fair. And so going off that tangent into the Raw Women's division currently, it's like, what are we doing? Like, it does not make sense. We always say this. It's like a broken record. You can't put your eggs all in one basket. Naomi came back, as always, creates a buzz. And what happened? She beat Shayna cleanly, and then she beat Nia cleanly too. So why is Naomi in a tag team with Lana and not getting ready to face Asuka for the title in a feud? Naomi has said this. It was sometime last year when she went viral because of how dope she is. One of the things she said in an interview, and I can't remember where, she said she's okay with not winning a title, whatever the case might be, which I think she deserves another title run. She just wants a really good feud.
Right.
Why is she not getting a feud? Like, I don't understand why she's not facing Asuka right now. And like I said, she's in a tag team with Lana. They won to have a future tag team.
I was just about to say that
championship match, and it's Sasha and Bianca. It's Sasha and Bianca facing at Fastlane. It's Dakota Kai and this girl Raquel.
Yeah, Raquel. Yeah,
Cesaro going for this title, and it's just like, okay, so when is Lana and Naomi going for this?
This title shot.
I don't understand. I don't understand. At this point, I'm gonna give Shayna and Nia all the credit in the world. They really are a good tag team. It's like something I didn't expect. I've appreciated Nia more in this role.
Right.
And same thing with Shayna. But at the same time, now Shayna can go for the title too. Nia can go. Like, you have legitimate. There's at least 3 outside of Charlotte, 3 women that can go for this title. And now Rhea Ripley's coming up soon. Like, I just don't understand.
But for some reason, as Charlotte mentioned this past week, she wants to challenge for the Raw title. And it's just like, why are we trying to do Raw Asuka versus Charlotte again? Was this the 3rd time, 4th time? Like, we don't need this again, because every time it comes out the same way, kind of. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Asuka doesn't benefit anything from it. So at this point,
and at this point, it's like Asuka is going to drop the title soon,
right?
Because she's had it. She's not going to carry it for that long, and it's just like, I was thinking about this when after Charlotte said what she said, and it's like, it's really unfortunate because we all know that I give her a hard time, but I do understand she's one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I get that. Right. 1,000%. But it's a shame that just with that accolade or with that surrounding you, we don't care.
Right.
We don't care because WWE has saturated her and titles,
her wins,
and it's like there's no reason why at this point of her career. I don't know how old she is, but like, you have nothing else to accomplish. The only thing that maybe she needs to accomplish is winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. But other than that, or she won Royal Rumble last year.
Oh yeah, you're right. Damn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, yo, there's nothing else. This girl, she's faced a legend. She's and beaten that legend. There's not the only thing at this point you can tell me that I can get excited for Charlotte right now is if her and Sasha run it back, run the feud back. There's no reason why at 34 she has nothing else for her to do. Especially she's been on the main roster for I don't know. I don't know. It's a combination of throwing everything at her and not really building up your women's division, which is essentially what this discussion is about. Like I said, the only thing that will get me excited, anything Charlotte related, is if her and Sasha run it back. That's it. That's it. Even then, anything else, there's nothing.
Because I have my arguments about that, but that's a whole different episode. I don't want to railroad this with the Sasha and the Charlotte situation, and how I feel about that and how it plays. I guess I'll talk about it when we discuss the whole Bianca versus Sasha as we get closer to WrestleMania. That's why I have my feelings of why Sasha should win that. But also with the WWE Tag Team titles, they're announcing that the NXT are coming up with women tag team titles as they bring on a new show called NXT Evolve. To me, it feels.
And NXT is supposed to be moving to Tuesdays.
Yeah, NXT is supposed to be moving to Tuesdays. They got in the second show. Now they're getting women tag team titles after what happened this past week. And to me, it just feels stupid. So what was the point of having women's titles in general? You're not even doing anything properly with that. And now you want to introduce a whole nother new tag team titles because you have a second show. Instead of just having the women's tag team titles float amongst the 4 that you're going to have. Or let somebody from NXT win it, so it'd be easier for them to float around and let NXT have some exposure with the title.
I thought it would have been really great and I don't want to say revolutionary, but really like progressive in the sense that, you know what, Nia and Shayna dropped the titles to someone in NXT.
Right, and then now NXT got a major title that they could float around in different brands and bring some eyes back to NXT instead of doing a whole nother set of titles for what?
No, I agree.
Is there even enough teams in NXT to have a title on their own?
And the thing is, they keep and that was what I was going to say. You keep, your new classes, drafting individual superstars. And I guess, they can see what works and put them in teams and what have you. But you have, if you're going to bring I'm not against more women titles, but it has to be defended properly. It has to be used properly. And we see that the women tag team, unless the Sasha and Bailey carrying the title, the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, they've done something. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's all been bad. Like I said, Shayna and Nia are actually very good together. But it's about the defending of the titles. If you're not having competent teams face them, like, and just picking and just putting random teams together that it just doesn't make sense, and then to have a second show, you got to work on NXT.
Right.
It is so crazy how NXT has fallen from
What we know it
what
does.
it was, right? We used to be so excited to catch NXT, so excited, and the talent that came out of there. Again, I'm not saying that there's not some talent there that's doing their thing, but
Right.
overall, who they have there is not working. It's not working at
It's not.
all.
I think it's more
And
so.
people are not watching. People don't care.
I think it's more so that it's come legitimately as a third brand once it hit USA, right? So when it hit USA, it didn't have as many people as people would recognize. So instead of sending, like you see when Finn Balor went down there, it helped. You know what I mean? When Ember Moon went down there, it helped. So maybe you should have sent a little bit more people to your third brand to build your third brand as a third brand and treat it as a third brand, because we just had a draft and nobody.
Help?
That's what I'm saying, but we just had a draft when it was ignored.
How much did it help when you look? I understand, but how much did it help if ratings they struggle to get over 1 million and compete with AEW?
Because
how much did it really help with Finn and Ember? It helped them to have it helped them individually in the sense of, okay, being on the main roster didn't work. Let me go back to NXT. It worked for them in that sense, but overall for the actual product or the brand of NXT, it didn't help.
What I mean is that, like, if they were down there, imagine how many numbers really would be, in a sense, right? Because they came before it hit, the numbers started rising a little bit, I guess. But my point is, you can help your brand by treating it as a brand, not as a stepchild, which is what they've done to NXT in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, if it really was treated as a third brand and put thought and effort into, like you do with Raw and SmackDown, you would get a whole lot better results instead of like, all right, well, you handle that and we're focused over here. But, when we need you to put somebody over, we'll send them down there, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, it's a stepchild. It's like like I said, the old ECW. And you see what happened with that. But now you're adding another NXT show that's supposed to be more of a real feel, but you still have your regular brand that's struggling. Like, why would you do that?
Why would you add more content? And then it's like, at this particular point, I don't know what type of ratings or you do they expect for this new show. I don't know, but again, and I'm shocked that Triple H is such a master when it comes to the wrestling business, and for like this to happen, it is perplexing to me.
Not really.
I don't know. It's just,
I feel like once it hit USA, he lost more of the power on what's going on over there. You know what I mean?
We don't know how true that is. We don't. I mean, we really don't know how true that is, because ultimately, I truly feel that that's, regardless of whatever moving to another nation, station, or network, that's still his show. He's still the boss of NXT. So I don't. And again, yeah, let's play devil's advocate that it is the network's fault that the quality has changed. But I genuinely, outside of that, I don't think the talent as a whole is captivating like in the past. It's not. And I don't think, no matter how much you write or this, that, and the third, if you don't have a captivating roster, why am I gonna watch?
Right.
So that's my opinion. I'm not for a new show. I'm always for more women tag titles, or even a mid card title. Let's take out a new women's tag team championship. Let's get a mid card. Let's get a mid card for the main roster, because now you can utilize and do stuff with more of your talent. But I just
struggle with the ones they have now.
Like I said, and then on top of that, they're putting random teams together. Like when, like the Dusty Rose Classics, it was just random teams being put together. So you legitimately don't have a feel for this roster, or I don't know. Like I said, there's bright spots. I'm not trying to completely shit on NXT, but they lost.
We have high expectations, I guess, like for what we used to get.
High expectation, because you would putting on phenomenal pay-per-views and this, that, and the third, and it's just like, what happened?
I ain't gonna hold you. The last NXT takeover was pretty decent. I
That the last one was very good, and I'm pretty
Vengeance
sure
Day. I loved it.
that was a good one. And I was just getting ready to say that, but would you put that up against any other takeovers that we've seen? No,
nah, not really.
So that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, yeah, it was pretty decent, but we know takeover to be, damn, that was fire.
Right, definitely. Well, switching gears, let's talk about the competition over at AEW, who have now signed Paul White, aka Big Show. No more BS is his shirt. And they've teased of who they're gonna sign at Revolution tonight. It's supposed to be another Hall of Famer kind of category, like Stella. But Kurt Angle dropped an interesting video on Twitter of him gearing up. What you think about that?
I mean, listen, good for him, right? Because his last run with WWE was hard.
Right.
Him as whatever his.
I hate when people say that because he got a WWE title shot that he was treating right. No, that man was.
Did he get it? I don't remember him.
He got
getting
a title shot last year. He faced he faced Sheamus. I'm not Sheamus. Drew McIntyre. It was like a one-off.
I don't remember that. I really don't remember that.
Was it last year or the year before that? But the last year he did do the. Last year was the one he did with Randy Orton, when he just got annihilated by Randy. And I think the year
like I was saying, it's unfortunate. Like his last run with WWE was hard. They made him into a joke, even though, a lot of at points, like when he first came into WWE, he was kind of like, his character was kind of like a joke, but still someone that was a main eventer or whatever the case might be. Good for him. Like, you want to go, if it's the year or two contract, if this is who that's being revealed tonight, all power to him. You want to go out riding off into the sunset, not what, like, I just don't get WWE. Like, I don't. Like, why is everything silly with them? And you treat talent like they're jokes. Like, I understand there's some talent that's going to be literally for jokes and what have you. But you just made this man a Hall of Famer. And then you're telling me his last match ever, or his retirement match, was at WrestleMania, being beaten by Baron Corbin. And this is not a knock on Baron Corbin, but the significance, like, I would think Kurt Angle is going to end his career on a feud with an up and coming talent, like a legitimate up and coming talent. Not to say Baron isn't, but
like nice.
It was all wrong how he ended his career with WWE, or how they ended it for him. So it was just like, all the power to him. I hope he gets what he's looking for when it comes to moving over
if that's him getting signed. Because I have a theory. I think it's gonna be Paul White that's gonna get signed as a talent, and he's gonna challenge Shaq. Because he's right now, they announced him as a commentator for their new show that's coming on Mondays on the YouTube series. That's what they have him as. But I realized that on their roster page they have him as a talent. So I feel like he's gonna announce that he's the talent that they signed, and that he's gonna challenge Shaq after what happened this past Wednesday in this this mixed tag team match that Shaq was in with Cody and Jade and Red Velvet. That's just gonna swerve.
Red Cupcake, yeah.
What do you call Red Cupcake?
Because that's what they kept calling her, like, or Shaq kept saying. On
TNT.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I feel like AEW is about to capitalize on something that WWE dropped the ball on with this Shaq versus Big Show.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see the match?
WWE is what WWE deserves. I did, and my instant thought was like, "Yo, this is really Monday Night Nitro. This is really." Yes. I was like, this. I'm like, I feel like this is 1997 or whatever the case might be, just because it's just like, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's literally what AEW is doing is literally mirroring what WCW was doing back in the day, signing all the old talents from WWF at the time, and then getting like, trying to get different celebrity appearances, for their show. It's just, I don't know, that when looking at it was a fun match. I'm not saying it wasn't.
Shaq did his thing. Jade
Shaq did his thing.
Everybody did their thing. Jade and all of them.
Cody's gonna do his thing. And I really like Jade. I really like her look. I think she can be a little bit better on the mic and what have you. Right. But her look, she has a look, and right. I'm definitely for it. But like I said, I'm not shitting on it, saying, well, it was a fun match. It was, it was interesting, right? But I'm just like, I can't help to think every time I turn on to AEW, this is Monday Night Nitro.
You know what it is? I understand that with a lot of people when they feel that way, but we have to remember that this is still like they have a partnership with TNT and TBS, and this is kind of the same thing that happened with WCW, where the partnership that they have with these companies, the station has a say, or at least try to help whatever brand it is. They treat it as one of their special shows, right? Just like, TV shows, certain people come in. TNT, of course, you're gonna try to get Shaq in there because Shaq has a relationship with wrestling and is still around the basketball season. So it's like a good cross promotion. Like they had Cody Rhodes on Inside the NBA. I'm like, look at this.
They had Jericho on there too. Like I hear you. I'm not. So
that's why that's what I'm getting. That's why I get the connection, because that's basically the same formula. Basically, honestly.
Yeah, and it's not even so much that it's because it's on TNT and TNT TBS or whatever the case is. I'm just saying, like, the way they're going about things, signing the talent, all the talent and whatever. I mean, I guess that's gonna happen, right? Just because all the talent was on WWE, so where are you gonna get talent from? The ones that are not with that company anymore. So I get it, but it's just I can't help to think like this is I'm 8 years old, and I'm just like,
it's not a bad thing, to be honest with you.
It's not a bad thing, and it's not a good thing in my opinion. I don't know. It's just, I feel like, you signed Paul White, but I'm like, Paul White is still nothing like, like, I'm not gonna front. I was like, oh wow, because that was out of nowhere. But it's it's kind of like with Sting. It was just like, but it's like, Sting is mad. Like,
but here's the thing for us, it's like that. But think about the person that's probably flipping the channels and that hasn't watched wrestling in a while because they probably fell off of WWE, and all of a sudden they come across a Sting or Paul White or Shaq inside the wrestling ring. Like, oh shit, let me see this.
But then it might pick up somebody like that. I know you're right. Like that, because I think at the end of the day, I mean, and this is not being WWE versus ACW. That is funny. When you do your, editing, make sure you put ACW. But it's not a WWE like versus AEW type of thing. It's just that, again, we don't. It's just that my thing is, if, like, going to what you said, if someone flipping the channel and hasn't watched wrestling in a long time, and they see, I don't think that's going to bring the average wrestler or the average fan in, seeing Paul White or Sting. Yeah, for that brief second, like, oh shit, wow, but because then ratings will show that. Like, we haven't really been keeping up with that, but I don't think AEW is like. It's like what, probably 9 under a million or a million. Like, it's not. We hyped this up, and I think everyone hyped it up, and like, this was gonna be like freaking Wednesday Night Wars and whatever. But it's really shown us that the overall public doesn't care about wrestling like they used to, or there are other ways of catching, like you always bring up in regards to YouTube or social media. So. Things have changed.
You're definitely right, and something that WWE and AEW does have in common is their women's division that needs to be properly met. Right. Recently they had their women's tournament for the number one contenders match, where Sheeta actually took control of some of the matches and some of the producing it, and it came out very well. A lot of the matches
Mhm.
people were, very big on. A lot of people were mad also that they had issues with BR live streaming the matches, and they had to go on YouTube. And some people were mad that they put the matches on YouTube. But to me, like I always tell you, I don't think YouTube is a bad thing, especially when you try to bring more eyes to a product. Yeah, I understand they need more segments on the AEW show itself, but like, how can you really? They had 2 segments this past week. They're making their small progresses. Yes, one of them was a mixed tag, but both of those women got a nice rub from Shaq and Cody. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that want to see Shaq in the ring, they got to see these 2 amazing women go at it. You know what I'm saying? In the process. So I don't understand the big deal about having issues with shows being put on YouTube.
I get the whole idea of like they're getting, Jade and
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet getting the rub from Cody and Shaq. But again, what your point is saying that someone who hasn't watched wrestling in a minute, and they flip to TNT and see Shaq or whatever. Who they like? Are they popping for Jade and Red Velvet, or is because I see Shaq just did a body slam?
Right.
So that's my like. I get it. We're in the 21st century where social media and digital is just the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it just seems like the pattern with AEW is like women's segments are put on to YouTube, and then how much are they really getting on TV? So for people who
Right.
do still watch TV, like who's this, who's that, so I still think I understand what you're saying in regards to like maybe progress being made, but I'm still not like sold on their women's division. And I think why does a whole episode of Dynamite consist with the same guys and this and that and third, but I don't have segments like you said to really bring out a character. Like, let me see who Big Swole is. Let me see who Sheeta is. Let me see who Jay. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
consistently, and this is not even an AEW a problem. This you can say the same thing for WWE.
Right.
So that's just my thing. And I get the YouTube thing and trying to whatever.
Get more
but
eyes and all that, but it's crazy that you said something about Big Swole, because last night Saturday night on AEW Dark, this is basically, I guess, their NXT version they trying to do before a pay-per-view type situation, an extra AEW Dark, where Big Swole came out and she had made a very valid point where she said she had a very nice winning record last year. She was the number 1 contender, and then they put a tournament in her face, and she's like, I'm not joining the tournament. I already earned my spot. So she basically put Ryo and she don't notice that,
she don't notice.
like, after they finish, they got a debt to collect with her. And I feel like it was a very good promo. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I'll make sure to send it to you. But Big Swole had her moment on the mic, and she did very, very well. So I'm interested to see how they follow up with that one.
Well, shout out to Big Swole because one thing that I respect from her, like even though she signed with AEW, it's like, she's gonna recognize talent
Everybody.
across the board, right, and how she stayed putting over Naomi, right. So one thing is, I give her that, and just she's an amazing talent, and whatever the case might be. But I agree with her.
Yeah.
Again, ever since AEW started, you know, it was this whole thing that we're gonna do things differently from WWE, and there's gonna be more inclusion and like diversity. And the thing is, it's like, I guess because of their ties with New Japan, and this is not a knock for Japanese wrestlers, but there's been more of a focus
Right.
with Japanese women wrestlers or whatever the case might be, but not necessarily the women of other women of color, like Black women, right?
Right.
So
Outside of Nyla Rose.
Outside of Nyla Rose and Brandy, right?
Right.
Like I said, there hasn't been a major focus when it comes to like Black women.
No, they have a problem. They have to work on their diversity overall. And for
Yeah,
men,
and when it comes down to it, again, it's a white man sport, right?
right.
you know, and it was just like, yeah, screw WWE, we're gonna do things differently. But how are we doing things differently if the same people that were in that same company, you know, or have been
It looked
around
the same
wrestling
way.
for years, not even look the same way, are the same people that just went over to a new company. So where's
Right.
the change, right? So I hope that's once they get um that match settled and whoever's the clear winner, I hope Big Swole is definitely next to come, because again, and not to bring up WWE, but it's the same thing with Naomi and Lana. You
Yeah.
won a chance to win a tag team championship match, and yet
You chilling.
you still have to you chilling. So it's the same thing for her.
Doing
Yeah, I
TikTok
won my
videos. Like, no,
opportunity.
let them wrestle.
Yeah, it's like I won my opportunity for the women's championship. Why do I have to be in a tournament to prove that I deserve
Right.
to be in that position? She's absolutely right, and
Yeah.
I hope that's what's to come afterwards.
There's a lot to work with on AEW. Now, switching back over to WWE real quick, we have this little triangle going on between Sasha, Reginald, and Bianca. How you think this is going? By the way, Reginald got fired from Carmella, as we didn't see that coming. As we didn't see that coming.
The reason why I wanted to kind of bring it up, not even necessarily Reginald, but it's just like, why, I'm all for two belts banks, whatever accolades Sasha can rack up, I'm for. But I'm just like, why are they facing Nia and Shayna? Why is this? Why, like,
again?
This, again? When you have the Riot Squad, it is so mind-boggling on SmackDown. The Riot Squad has done everything that they can to show, like, you know what? We are a tag team. We deserve a shot. And it's just like they're just sitting there, and then they try to do the whole thing with Billy and Billy Kane. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, WWE lacks creativity sometimes when it comes to like building feuds. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna have their match and they might win, they might lose. I don't know, but Sasha's
Might
gonna
turn on somebody.
essentially turn on Bianca. Like, you can see that from a mile away. Why are we not building the feud now for Mania? I mean, I get it in the sense they're cool right now. So yeah, let's tag team or whatever. And I guess you saw the seed sprinkling with Bianca saying handle that. Even though that doesn't really make sense why she said handle that, because Sasha, it's not like Sasha's bringing Reginald. He just
he's following her
around with her.
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily make sense. So, but I get the seeds have to be planted in some sense.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I see happening essentially. And
but this,
I don't know. Maybe Reginald and her are working together, even though she doesn't need that, but they're working together and then kind of just screw people over. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, with heels is always good to have a henchman. You know what I mean? So I can see the build for that.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, why are we doing this tag team title match again? We just had this tag team title match. Other people could be used. If you want to do this tag team title match to create a turn, do it on SmackDown. You don't need to use a whole pay-per-view to set up a turn for the road to WrestleMania. Every show should be important on the road to WrestleMania, enough that you could do a turn on SmackDown, on Raw, wherever you need to do it at. Like, you don't need to do it at a pay-per-view anymore. It's the road to WrestleMania. Like, all of this is why WrestleMania is in the background to remind you, like, this is where we're going. This is where we're heading. So anything can happen on these shows. So you don't need, like, Naomi and Lana should have got their title shot at Fastlane. If you want to do a triple threat with Riot Squad, if you want to do a 4-way and invite Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez to get their rematch at Fastlane and have all those women claim that they're deserving of a tag team title shot, and then you have that 4-way go down, that's a whole nother segment you could have used on Fastlane and let Sasha and Bianca do something else at Fastlane. Whether, you know,
not even,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be something backstage. It doesn't have to be no match. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be a match between these two. It's already there that they're going to go against each other at WrestleMania.
Not even that, though. Like, in the sense of, look at with Roman right now. Sasha's had one feud since she's been a champion. Outside, I guess if you want to say, the rematch with Bayley. but she's had one feud, right? Whereas Roman, he was able. Who did he face before KO? I can't remember. Maybe it's been KO, but he's had
his cousin.
His cousin, yes, he's had multiple feuds. You know, we've seen with Jay, we've seen with KO, Adam Pearson for her like briefly. You know, maybe like there was a tease with Shinsuke,
Right.
and now we getting a match with Daniel Bryan. Sasha has not faced anyone for that title except for Carmella.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I always have this conversation with you, and maybe it might be biased or whatever. But again, ratings show you, and this is not a knock on Roman because I love Roman, but every week, this is the formula for SmackDown. Roman. Random matches going on. 9:00, Sasha and whoever. Then we'll see Roman again. Maybe, you know, this is the third time we've seen Roman. Then main event, it's something with Jay, Roman, and so you know what I mean. And it's
another
just
component.
And it's just like ratings is showing me that at 9:00, when Sasha comes on, more people are tuned in. It has not. I mean, I'm not saying anything but Roman, but you can switch up the formula where Sasha can open up a show or end the show.
Close it out.
Yeah, and the show. So where she can have a feud too and defend her title.
Right.
Obviously, she's not losing because the matches at Mania, her and
but you can build
Bianca,
the suspense like you're building with Roman and DB. Like we'll get to the Roman and DB. I mean, we can tie it in now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we can. Like I'm excited to see Roman and Daniel Bryan because, you know, Daniel Bryan's a great all-time talent. Roman's been killing it in his role. You know, so I'm here for this. I'm here for that. And I like the steel cage match that happened. I love it. I just feel that just change up the formula briefly. It's women's history month. Can I get more segments with the other face of the company? John Cena said the faces of the company right now are Roman, Sasha, and Drew. So why are you not using your face like that?
And the crazy part is there's no second woman face of the company because you have Asuka chilling in the back when she's not injured, doing nothing or playing second fiddle to either Charlotte or to Lana. Think about that. She plays second fiddle to Lana as the women's champion. Like, this is the problem with sometimes when you look at the product, right? And to your point, I was thinking about this when I was watching SmackDown on Saturday night because I watched it off the DVR. SmackDown is the same formula. Raw is the same formula. Why we keep starting off with people talking? Why can't we start off with a match? Let's try something different, guys. Like, throw me as soon as I turn on the Raw SmackDown, I know I'm fast forwarding the first segment. Hands down. I think this past week, the segment between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns lasted at least like 15 minutes because they put a commercial in the middle. Like, why we get commercials now in between segments?
And it's just like, you know, these companies throw mad money to WWE, but I feel like, yo, it should be like a stipulation, like, yo, if you can reach, if your ratings can get to 1.2, 1 point, this, that, and the third, then we'll give you this. You something, because I feel like once you got the bag,
you're chilling.
I'm chilling. I'm gonna do what I've been doing.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do because you already gave me a guaranteed contract. Right. And that's what it comes off as, lazy booking per usual.
And it was this conversation.
And for me, it's just like, yo, if I'm the CEO of this company, or if I have a big position in this company, and I see every week ratings are dropping, and then I'm on social media, and like the majority of people are not feeling it, or they've tuned out, or they're deciding to watch AEW, I would sit there and be like, damn, that's a reflection of me. I got to do something better. We got to do something and change it. But no one cares. No one cares in this company. And I'm baffled that it's the same thing over and over, and we're still having this conversation. We've been on this podcast for what, 2 years?
3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years. This March is making it 3, I
3 years.
think.
This, yeah, 20 something. We 3 years we've had this show, and we're still talking
Waiting.
about the same topic of giving us more change and being creative and surprising us. And I know it's hard in a pandemic era, but
Right.
you've outlasted, essentially. We're kind of, it seems like we're in the tail end of it. You
Right.
outlasted everything and done a pretty good job with not so many superstars getting sick and whatever. But
yeah, we need to change.
give me something different. Give me something different. That's it.
Speaking of change, we did get a change this past couple of weeks. We have Apollo Crews, who is now tapped into his Nigerian culture and giving us that Yuha Nation type promo. How you like his new look? I know you're not very big on my brother Apollo Crews. That's my frat brother right there. It's my sins. We crossed the same time actually, but yeah, I know you felt you're not too big on him. How you feel about him now?
I like even before the tapping into his Nigerian roots. I like the direction he was going, because my issue with Apollo was he's boring. He has no personality. Great
Always
talent,
smiling.
great ability, but there was never any personality towards him. He got called up super quick, and it was just nothing. It was nothing to do with him. There was no element to his character. This aggressiveness that he's been showing, specifically against Big E and whatever, and then Shinsuke, I was digging it. And now, and he did well in regards to his promo. It was a really good promo, and that's all. That's all I've been like preaching in regards to him. He's not a whack talent by any means, imaginary. But it's just like, give me something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think? Some people were like, is this kind of like a racist thing? Like kind of like WWE just always, wants to throw an accent on someone and then turn them a heel. Like what's your whole mindset of it?
The crazy thing is, one of the friends of our show, Phil D, said the same thing. He wrote an article over on I want to say Fightful. He wrote an article about that and like how he sees whenever a wrestler takes on their culture, it becomes automatically heel. He wondered, like, is this a safe thing to do with Apollo right now? Yes, the idea may be Apollo's in terms of like how he gonna bring out and present his roots, but like all of a sudden he's anti-American. You know what I mean? And not only anti-American, he's also anti-African American in a sense of he's like, I'm the real African American. It kind of, how's that kind of a stigma behind the closed doors between that whole situation. So he kind of touched on that, like, is this a safe thing to do on a WWE product? And why does it have to be in a heel form? Like the whole spear situation, like why does this have to happen when he's a heel? Same thing with, same thing what happened with Jinder Mahal. And, it just seems like a pattern. And it's just like, is this to me, I feel like it's a touchy situation. Like, I can't speak for Nigerians because I'm not Nigerian, but I've seen both sides of Nigerians saying, yes, I agree with this, and yes, I'm against this. So you can't please everybody, right? But like, I agree in the sense of like, why does it always have to be when I'm proud about my culture, I'm proud about my heritage, that it has to be in a heel form when it's when it's not American based? You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I kind of like side eye, because he could have been this and this aggressive as a face. Why is it that we now getting this as a heel? Like, all right, we don't know what to do with you, so go ahead, do what you want to do, but you're gonna do it as a heel. You know what I mean? Like, like that you want to go this route? I bet you're gonna put down Americans, blah blah blah. You're gonna be a heel. Like, that's where I feel like the subjects get touchy, because then it's like, why do we always have to be angry? That's why I question it at. Like, why do we always have to be angry and be anti? We could be proud Americans or African Americans without putting down the country that we live in and support, and not be a heel. So that's why I look at it.
Everything that you said, I agree 1,000%. I'm on both sides of the fence. Like, it was a needed character change for Apollo specifically. But I agree. But would this gimmick get over as a face? I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. It was more so like when he was a face, he was just smiley all the time. They didn't really give
No,
him.
I understand, but I get it. But just one of the things you said was, he could still be aggressive and be a face. Yeah, it's very much true. But if he decided to embrace his Nigerian roots, would he get? And he was still a face. Would he get over?
That's the question we could ask. Yeah, it may have worked, it may have not worked. We never know. Let's see what happens later down the road.
And I think, and this is, I'm the first one that's gonna call WWE out on their bullshit when it comes to racism and stereotypes. But I'm just trying to think from a standpoint like, all right, you're about to be aggressive and you're about to be this Nigerian, god type, whatever. Am I gonna? If I keep you as a face, are people gonna generate and be like, yeah, Nigeria? You get what I'm saying? Right. Unless you're actually Nigerian yourself, or am I gonna big up Nigeria and say it's better than America and whatever, and then all the Americans that's watching be like, what the fuck is this? And getting an actual reaction. So, like you said, it's a touchy subject and it can go either way. I just don't think the Nigerian gimmick would get over as a face.
Right.
Because I can't relate to that. I can relate to being a Black American, sure. And the next white person or Asian person or Hispanic can't relate to someone that's Nigerian. So how am I going to cheer for that person that's bigging up Nigeria?
I'm not gonna hold you. It's a tough sell.
Yeah.
But we've seen it in other instances in terms of like, where it's like the superhero type feel to it. You know what I mean? Where it could work in a way. But I mean,
yes,
like I said, it's a tough sell.
Yeah. Because like when have you and I'll tell you you're right. Give me an example of someone who is not American or is American but is something else, like Irish American or German or Scottish or whatever, and they big up their country. When has that ever been a situation where they've gotten over as a face, but I'm bigging up my culture?
I think Drew McIntyre does a pretty good job at it. I think Rey Mysterio has done a great career of it.
But that's not what I'm saying. Yes, I mean, again, we've seen people who big up their culture, yes. But what I'm saying to you is Drew came back, he was a heel, bigging up his Scottish heritage. It wasn't I turned face and now I'm bigging up, just Scotland. So my point is, when have we seen right off the bat a new talent or talent that changed their gimmick and their face and they'd be like, they're pro Canada, pro this, and it's gotten over with other people?
Probably only
there has to been. Yeah, but you see, Ray is pro Mexican, but it's never like, yo, Mexico is better than America or whatever. He's like a proud Mexican American.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm telling you. When it's that's what I'm trying to ask you. We've never seen where a superstar wrestler has put up their culture or heritage
above,
and it's solely that and put it above America. With your example with Ray, he's done a great job with it, but he's embraced both cultures.
Right.
He's embraced that he's from Cali with the whole 619. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So it's not like it's just pro Mexico. That's it. Yes,
Oh no, if he does a face
Spanish and I'm Mexican.
When I say that as a face, you can't put your nation above the other. When I mean like a chance with it as a face, if you said I was a Nigerian American, you know what I'm saying, and like you said, embrace both sides, maybe it could work. But I'm not saying that if he said, "Oh, Nigerian is better," like he's promoting now. Of course, he has to do it because he's a heel. But I'm saying that for him to put his culture into place and align it aside American culture is possible, but we never got a chance to see it. Maybe we'll see it down the line and maybe it'll work.
Maybe
I get your point.
Yeah, because it had
It can't
seems
be.
like
It
the
can't be one on
formula.
top of the other one. That's
Yeah,
heel tactic.
with the formula. Yeah, the formula that seems to work in that situation by putting your culture and then being a face. You have to start off as a heel, and then when people start feeling you, they want to turn you as a face. Now it's aligning both cultures and
Right.
pushing both cultures at the same time, and not neglecting one or the other. That's what seems to work. But to end this segment or topic and about Apollo Crews, he needed a new look. He needed a new look and a new attitude and some personality, and I'm interested. And he delivered. So
Definitely.
we'll see what comes about from that.
So tonight we have Revolution, the AEW Revolution, right? I don't know if you're gonna
Yes.
plan on watching it. We have a very big card, as you know, they like to do just like in Japan Pro Wrestling. We have a lot of matches going on tonight. Is any of those matches that stick out to you?
There's a few matches, and I know you figured like because I haven't really been watching, but I'm always down to see what the women are gonna do.
Yeah,
the ladder match with Cody and Scorpio Sky, that's gonna be good.
It's like 6 minutes. I want to know who the secret person is on that ladder match, that mystery person. Maybe it's the signee from that Paul White was teasing, because it's supposed to be a major ladder match.
The signing, right? We're gonna have Kurt Angle in the
ladder
match. Yeah, so I'm interested to see it. That's one thing I'll give AEW when it comes to it's a big card. I would like because the last pay-per-view that I watched, it went off for entirely too long. I would like them to kind of cut it down, and if they're gonna do like New Japan, make it 2 nights. But one thing I do like with AEW, that they do gimmick matches, and if they don't leave it for just, let's say the title of the pay-per-view is like the name of, you get like TLC, for example.
Right.
Like I can still see a steel cage match at a random pay-per-view, or I can see those type of matches. So because it just makes it seems like a big thing. This is this stimulation that's being in place. So it looks like a really good card. The title match, Kenny's Clean has been dope in his role. There's a couple matches I'm interested in.
I'm interested in this whole Sting and Alan Darby versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in this street fight, because I'm guessing this is going to be like a cinematic match in a sense, because the next following match after that is the exploding barbed wire match. I've never seen one of these, and the exploding barbed wire death match, I'm actually interested to see how this goes, because I've seen the clips that they played, and I've seen like clips on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen the clips from this. So basically, the ropes are made out of barbed wire that explode when you touch it. So
I'm for gimmick and stipulation matches, but then it's like, okay, then it's like on the flip side, AEW goes way too far. Like
no, but this is a match that happened back in the day between I don't know if you remember Terry Funk doing Nice to Be with the Chainsaw Charlie and his other.
Listen to the name that you just mentioned.
Yeah. So apparently, because Kenny actually did a design. He wrote it on paper. Like, I guess that's how they come up with the ideas. They write it quick wherever they find it. He posted it on Instagram, and it's like it's like 3 sides with the barbed wires, and one side so you could go outside of the ring. Right? There's spots that's hidden that can explode if you touch it, and then the time limit for the match is 30 minutes. If the match doesn't end in 30 minutes, everything explodes.
Everything explodes.
Yes. So it's
it is like that's crazy. I can only John's wife Renee. I like the stress that girl must go through being pregnant at that. Pregnant, like because I be seeing her like tweets, and I know she's like, yo, what the hell is going on?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, this match right here, it's what I'm most excited about. I've never seen anything like this. It sounds crazy. I've seen clips on AEW. I've seen clips on Twitter. This just looks crazy. Like, they said they have to push the audience back to make sure that everything's safe. I'm like, yo, like, what are we doing on TV? I hope nobody, like, please be safe. Like,
needless to say, it should be a very interesting pay-per-view that like I said, I'm excited. I am interested in seeing, and like I mentioned to you before, I have to find my ways of getting to watch this.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah,
we also
you
get
got
to see
my
Miro
way.
tonight. You get to see Miro tonight. We see a lot of people tonight. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. When they said exploding barbed wire match, I thought like they wrapped the barbed wire around a baseball
And
bat.
it's gonna,
It's like it's gonna probably like pop, like
it'll fall apart or something.
Right, yeah. But when I seen the clips, I'm like, whoa, like this is what we doing? Like this.
Like
is
I said,
safe?
AEW does a good job with bringing
I'm gonna send you clips
simulations
so you
and
can see where this is
gimmicks.
going.
But then, like I said, on the flip side, they do the absolute most. So
Yeah,
fingers crossed and prayers to them.
to everybody
like
in this
everything
match
goes well, because God. But yes, that was our show. I think it was a pretty long show.
They're pretty decent. Yeah.
Typical.
We haven't spoke to you guys for a while, so enjoy it.
And there was a lot to talk about. Yeah, exactly. We had a lot on our mind. I mentioned I was very excited to discuss. So yeah, so that's our show.
Make sure you hit us on Twitter, Instagram at the Mixed Tag Show, on our personal at
Miss Jenna Baby BAYBEE or
Blue Magic Grind, spell sound. Catch you later.
That's it. Boom. Peace. You like my nails?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tag show.